The Celebrity Summit has docked at Kingstown, St Vincent, which is part of a group of islands known as St Vincent and the Grenadines. For this cruise, Paulo and I took a drive-by tour of St Vincent, taking in the Mesopotamia Valley in the interior and all the way up the Atlantic coast to Georgetown before heading back down on the coastal road to Kingstown. This was our second time in St. Vincent. We were here back in 2006 when we sailed from the islands of St. Vincent and the Grenadines to Grenada and her sister islands on one of our sailing charters. Now we saw a little bit more of the island from the vantage point of a driving tour.
Everybody builds their homes on at the edge of the road. You got to build it on stilts to bring it up to the road level.
You got these architects say very good, eh?
Yeah.
Very good, I tell you.
Leaving Kingstown, the tour headed northeast to the picturesque Mesopotamia Valley. Off in the distance, one can see the Arnos Vale Sports Complex, which hosts cricket matches, the traditional sport of the Caribbean.
This tree here is a kind of cinnamon tree. This is good to put in tea and so on. Very nice.
Oh, this one here?
Yeah, cinnamon. Come out again.
Here's some banana trees.
The banana trees, yeah. One time everywhere you look was bananas.
Yeah.
Now they're gone.
So when they're inside the plastic, they're ready to be picked up. When they're inside the plastic?
Yeah, well, it keep out the insects.
Insects, yeah.
Yeah. Keep out the insects. Like the birds from damaging them and the rats from going in there. And so on. All over there, right? Those bananas, right through.
Yeah.
Right through. But since bananas gone, since the industry gone, everything just fade away.
Yeah, so they're not really being taken care of, not harvested.
No, you're not taking care of them. Yeah, you see too much bananas.
They've been abandoned.
The industry.
They've all been abandoned.
No market.
We stop at the village of Belmont, where there is a lookout platform offering great views of the lush valley.
Gone into short crops.
It says you are now overlooking Mesopotamia Valley, part of an ancient volcanic crater. It's known locally as the breadbasket of the island.
Of the Caribbean.
Of the
Caribbean.
Yeah, it's the breadbasket of the Caribbean. Because we ship food from here to all Camden Islands. Even all of the St. Martins.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Every acre of land, whether flat or hilly, was farmed and reminds the visitor of terrace farming. It was a windy, scenic ride into the Valley of Mesopotamia. The lushness and greenery of the area were quite astounding. Our driver pointed the root crops used to make kalaloo soup.
These are dashi.
Dashi.
Yeah, the young leaf of them will take to make kalaloo soup. Make kalaloo soup, right? Yeah. And the part in the earth is like a potato. We cook it. I'm going to bring. Yeah, man. See the man in the land doing his, keeping his plants clean and thing. Planting his plants.
Yeah, taking care of
and
it.
the Montreal Gardens is right up in the hill.
Montreal Gardens, straight ahead.
One thing we noticed was that farmers tending their land used a lot of manual labor rather than machines. Because of the mountainous terrain, farming is small scale. From our vantage point, there was also a view of the Atlantic Ocean on the west coast.
All right. Yeah, man. All right.
You brew beer over here?
Right?
Beer?
BS?
Yeah, do you brew beer?
Yeah. Pyroon.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I remember now. Yeah, I remember that.
As we continued our tour, we saw more of the lushness of the valley by driving along the main valley road.
Yep.
Them they're about 100 years old now.
Really?
Yeah.
100 years old?
Yeah, and
It's
it's still
coconut.
bearing. See how tall it is?
Yeah.
See how tall, man, and it's still bearing.
Tall and skinny.
Yeah, they still bearing coconut, but it's totally old, eh?
We also saw a grove of coconuts that are at least 100 years old.
Have a lot of the trees fallen down over the time, or is this?
No,
Are they all
people
still pretty much the same?
People cut down some to plant bananas
Oh,
and to build their houses and so
okay.
on. Yeah, but we had a lot of coconuts because we had a factory here we used to make oil.
Mm-hmm.
Coconut oil,
Yeah, but they sell the factory to a guy and they promised us to build one back in the country, but they never do it. They never do it. So you can still see some of the coconut trees here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very old trees, and
You can tell there's like
you see how tall it is? Very
How
old
tall
trees.
it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very old trees. Very old trees. So the coconuts drop on the ground and they pick them up now. Yeah,
no one would climb that high for it.
well, there are guys here who could do the climbing, you know. There are some guys who good at that. Yeah. Nobody knows, you know.
That'd be really hard work
Yeah.
climbing these coconut trees.
These will pick them up when they drop and hooks them. There are guys who they ever take the hooks them with, you know, a peel.
Mm-hmm.
Peel off the shell. Peel off the shell and
How long have you been a tour guide?
well,
Have you been
it's quite a long time, you know.
Yeah, you like doing this?
Quite a long time. I don't do it much this time at my age, you know.
Yeah.
I take it more easy this time. But
Yeah.
quite a long time I'm doing this age.
I see.
Yeah, over 40 years, man.
Oh, 40 years.
Yeah, over that. Yeah. Yeah, but I don't really I used to hustle a long time, but I know we don't really hustle now, you know.
Yeah.
I take it more easy now.
Yeah.
But to keep me fit instead of,
Oh, yeah.
you know, being sitting
Keeps you
down.
active, sure.
Being sitting down, you know, find something to keep doing something. Because like when the tourist season finish, you don't find me driving up and down so regular, you know.
Yeah.
Nah.
Check out the next video of the St. Vincent tour, where we drove along the Windward Highway on the way to Black Point.